welcome to the Cashing On Creativity Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Outwards. This is episode number 151, and we're going to talk with creative entrepreneur, speaker, awesome coach, Dave Rogers. So Dave is a coach that I met through CAPS, Canadian Association of Professional Speakers, and he used to be in charge of a speaker association in, I think it was New Zealand, or no, Singapore. Sorry, wrong country. Anyway, so Dave is now back in Canada, and he is helping entrepreneurs in the Brampton area specifically, but anybody that needs to basically improve their skills. That's what he does. So he talks about improving skills and how you can become an entrepreneur. He's been an investor. He's a professional speaker. He's a coach. And you know what? I hit it off with Dave. He's just one of those guys that it's very easy to get to like and get to know. And he's doing some great things, and he's helping people. And you know, he's helped a lot of people over his lifetime, and he realized the importance of helping others, and he saw a need in the Brampton area for skills development. So he is what we call a mastermind facilitator. He puts on all kinds of events, and we're going to talk to him about his courses, his books, his life, how he got to where he's going, and, well, where he's going. And so I was recently at one of his workshops, actually doing some graphic facilitation for a speaker there, and we hit it off and thought we'd do an interview. So let's find out all about Dave Rogers.
I said no. And that Christmas I flew to Japan, met the country manager, and persuaded him that they needed to have more Canadians in Japan and more Japanese in Canada. Made him a proposal to bring over, not a full expat, which would have cost him about $650,000, a semi-expat. And we were able to do the deal, and within 3 months I was in Japan.
Wow. So now, so then from Japan you went, so you got out of banking and you went to speaking? Or what'd you do in between?
No, I went to actually banking, risk management, became a bond trader during the Asian crisis, which was an amazing time. Had a multi-billion-dollar portfolio that just collapsed, and it was incredible to go through that stress. And that's actually when I became an expert in stress. I studied it, I traveled the world to understand stress and make stress my friend.
You could have asked.
Yeah, it was incredible. Those experiences in the 20s and 30s were very close to death. And then when I left the finance industry in 2000, I had a fear of public speaking. And so what does someone like you or I do if we have a fear?
We go do it.
We step right through it. And so I joined Toastmasters, and I started with once a month, and then it was twice a month, and 3 times a month. And by the time I was really into it, the first 6 months I went every week. And lo and behold, something popped. I got introduced to Success Resources, which is the #1 seminar business in the world. And they said, wow, you're pretty good. Why don't you be the MC for Robert Kiyosaki? And that's actually where I met Andrew Matthews, I met John Gray, and I met a number of these speakers. But it was also the time that being in front of 5,500 people, the body started shaking. And a guy called Ron Kaufman, he's Up Your Service. He comes over, puts his hand on my shoulder and goes, breathe.
Yeah.
And so here I am breathing as I'm going on the stage. So I went from petrified of public speaking to being in front of 5,500 people, very afraid, yet being able to at least communicate.